can't get these things off. Welcome back to my channel. In today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at DC Multiverse, Last Night on Earth, Bane. And if you're new around here, please remember to subscribe to my channel. So let's just dive right into this review. So, as you can see in the beginning of my video, off camera a few days ago, I decided to just mess around with the legs. I knew there were so many QC issues with these legs for Bane, and unfortunately, I didn't have any issues getting this leg on. Popped on, locked in by turning and everything, no issues. This one gave me a bit of a problem. I was sitting there for about 20 minutes, give or take, and I just couldn't get it on. And eventually it popped on, twist and turn, and I heard that little click lock kind of thing. I used no hot water, no glue, no hair dryer technique or anything like that. It was just straight up, I was able to get them on. And I can't get them off. So I can't really go over a leg individual for this review, so we're just going to dive right into it. They're going to be attached. But overall, I think the detail for this figure, for its legs, look pretty good. The only thing is, when I force this leg up, his pant outline right here that pretty much gives him booty shorts. And this is Bane we're talking about. So, it's just, yeah, you never would think you would say that all in the same sentence. So overall, I think the detail for his pants are really good. This leg in particular seems to have a little bit of a gap issue, but not going to complain about that. Overall, the threaded like plastic like molded detail here for his pants are really good. He has all those pouches on both sides of different things for like gear that he's carrying. Overall, he has this, belt right here that attaches to his main belt for himself, and I think the detail for that is really cool. The nice silver detail. And then in the front, obviously, we got the red, so I think that's pretty neat. The boots overall, you got two different. You got a shin guard right here, versus this one's more of just the knee. So I think that's pretty cool. So you can see him from the dystopian future of where he's ended up, and where he's pretty much working for Batman, well, Omega, if I understand that correctly. So I think that's pretty cool, and he does have some pretty good articulation. As the toe articulation, he does have ankle articulation, which is pretty good. He does have knee articulation about right there. It's pretty good. Does have thigh, but the piece that's connected to make his leg kick out is underneath this soft, hard, like rubber, and I can't get his legs to really come up, not without intentionally popping his legs off. So I'm going to just avoid that. If you're looking for that, sorry, I'm just not going to be doing that. There is some articulation right here, right under the knee, so it'd be a calf articulation right there. So that's a nice little thing for this larger figure. As we reach up to the upper body here, so he has this soft, rubbery, like muscle shirt, which is pretty good. And overall, I think they did a pretty good job with this. And it's a little loose on this side, but I think that's normal. There's some wear and tear a little bit, holes, tears. Doesn't show up too much, but on the back, then we have that hole right there. That's going to be for Scarecrow, the peg into the back that we saw on that card. So we'll take a look at that in a little bit. The only thing I wish they would have done with this Bane figure, they would have had a card for him specifically, like they had for the rest of the figures, so we learn a little bit more about his character or what has been going on for that time. But unfortunately, we don't. And then we got the skin right up here. It's more like a grayish color. In the comic, it looks more like a human color, like skin, so they I'm not sure why they went with the gray look. This looks more like a Solomon Grundy kind of like paint they were going for or something for some odd reason. So I'm not really sure about that. So there is the legs and the body. So then we're going to go up to the fists. I'll grab the other one. overall, I think the detail right here for his hands look fantastic. They got some damage right here. It looks really good. The knuckles look fantastic. And obviously they're going to be closed fists. He does not come with any extra hands. Does have some wrist articulation because of the peg. We'll take a look at that and connecting and see how that goes. But overall, I think they did a really good job on adding that little extra battle damage and everything on his hands. Then we got an arm right here. This one's pretty simple. Just has a, you know, a band around his bicep and everything, and he has something that's going to pretty much that's like part of his glove right here. So that's how that's going to look when it's connected and everything. So I think that's pretty good. Ball peg is really tight, so it's a good sign. The other arm, it's a little bit different. This is where he can inject his venom into his body, so he can grow more massively, pretty much increase his strength level. But not to the point where he's like Superman level or anything like that. No, we're just a stronger human, so to speak. So I think this is pretty cool. Skin color, like I said, just looks like Solomon Grundy. But hey, it's cool. I'm still happy with this oversized Bane figure. That's not the classic look. We get something different. And finally, the mask, which is also his head. That is a good representation of Bane. It's the red eyes, you have the white, and you got the black. Very nice. And on the back, he has a little bit of a zipper here. They added that in for some molded detail right there. So you can see how he can take his mask off, because the zipper goes all the way up right into the front, right here. So I think that's pretty cool. And then it just looks like his head, for the most part, is very hollow-like. So I'm not really sure. I guess I won't know until I really put this on. So let's just dive into that and see what happens. So I'm just going to start with this arm right here. And let's see, so the joint's right here, and this is, yep, the right arm. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, that's on there. Okay. So we got that. I'm going to admit, that was a little bit harder to pop in than you think without the hot water trick. Okay, that one's in too. Felt that. Pretty good. Okay, now you can see how he's getting big. Okay. So we're going to add his head on right now. Usually you want to do that last, but in my case, we're going to do that right now. And we're just going to lay it there for a second. Going to raise up this a little bit. Now, there's a little hole right there for this peg. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I just want to check something. Okay. Did I get it on there right? Yep. I think it's on there. I didn't. Oh, there. Yeah, how it's on there. Okay. So now we got Bane with his head on there, and that looks fantastic. Now we got these hands. And so far, like I said, no hair dryer, no like glue, hot water trick, nothing yet. Haven't had any of these issues, these QC issues that where I have to resort to that. I mean, if I have to, I have to, but I'm trying not to. I mean, it is a pain. And I bought all these figures separately. It's not like I bought like the whole wave all at once from like one retailer. I got Scarecrow figure off a Big Bad Toy Store, and I picked up the Omega figure and what was the other? Batman at Target. They were at two separate Targets, nowhere near each other. Just randomly happened to find it. And then the Wonder Woman I ordered off of Amazon, so I was able to find it. That was the only way I could find that. I never found that one in the wild. And Scarecrow, I finally found that one in the wild a couple weeks ago, but I already had it. Okay. Okay. And here I have Bane completed. And so far, the arms have stayed in, so we'll do a full 360. Good. articulation right there. The only thing I notice, these wrists, the pegs do not keep his hands in. This one seems to be pretty good overall. Does have a nice elbow articulation there. Does have a bicep swivel as well. So that is nice to have. Single jointed elbow, by the way. Just want to point that out. But the only thing is, yes, there is a problem with his hands. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to try the hot water trick. And I'm back. And here I have Bane. I tried the hot water trick for both of his wrists to pop the hands in. And this one is like super tight in there. I'm not even going to bother moving this one. It's perfectly where I wanted it anyway, so he's kind of ready to fight a little bit. This hand, however, is still, I can still turn it, but if I pull on it, it's still going to come out. But it seems like it's a little bit more snug than what it was. So I got lucky with the legs. Unfortunately, the wrist ports, you know, the connector part, I was not lucky with. So, and here I have Batman and Wonder Woman next to Bane. Just give you an idea of how large Bane is compared to a regular size figure. And my God, he's chunky. And here we have Scarecrow on the back of Bane. And what you got to do that, there's a peg right here that comes out of his stomach. Pegs in right there. So overall, I think that's pretty cool that they added that little gimmick there, just like they had in the card. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to keep that peg straight and then plug him in. There we go. That time it was so much easier. But then you can readjust his hands and everything like that. I think this looks pretty good. And then you want to just turn his head. So to pose him like that, it looks pretty good. So you can see Scarecrow hanging off the back versus something else. And here we have some size comparisons. And this is not from DC. This is from Marvel Select. So there's the Abomination. And my God, he outclasses him in every single way. This is one of my favorite figures. Oh, and we'll take him out of the way. And another one I like to bring in would be from the Fantastic Four, The Thing. And he kind of scales about the same height. Yeah, it's about the same height there. But the Thing's hands, well, his arms too, are like much bigger. And let's just take a look at that. Let's just turn him to the side. Yeah, I would say so. His forearms definitely are. His biceps, yeah. The Thing is just gigantic. And finally, one more Marvel Select, because who doesn't like Marvel Select? And this is going to be the... Yep. Yeah, we're going to just do that. We're going to just stick the axe right in the face of Bane right there. But you can see the difference between them. And I can't even get the rest of his helmet in there. Just to see how big Gladiator Hulk is next to Last Night on Earth, Bane. And here we have Bane with the rest of the line. We have Omega, which I forgot to do a size comparison, so you have them right here. Let's take a look on that. And you also still have Batman, Wonder Woman, and obviously Scarecrow's in the back for the gimmick that they decided to do with him. But overall, I gotta say that this figure is awesome. I really like the big, imposing presence this figure does have. So if you put him on your shelf in a collection or something, he will stand out versus like this Omega figure. I'm pretty sure Bane would kind of stand out more than this one. So there's that. My final thoughts on DC Multiverse, Last Night on Earth, Bane. Well, if you're willing to pay $24.99 for Scarecrow, Omega, Wonder Woman, and Batman with the straitjacket, then you will have all the pieces to complete this Bane figure, which looks pretty cool. I like the big, like I said, the big imposing, look that he has. He'll be great on my shelf next to some of my DC multiverse figures, and also standing next to some of my Marvel Select will be just fine as well. Even though the shelves will still be divided between Marvel and DC to keep them still separate, but close enough. Another thing, overall, I just think the detail they did on his shirt, overall, like the holes and everything, little tears, wear and tears, they did a good job with that. The detail for like the veins and everything, they are there, it just don't stand out as much as they should have. So what they should have done, they should have painted all of his veins in his body this color and made his skin color a little bit more on like a regular skin color, you know, than this Solomon Grundy look. That's not good. The face sculpt with the mask, spot on, like the zipper mold on the back that I showed earlier, looks great. The head articulation, it just, he kind of can nod up and down a little bit. It's nothing that spectacular with that. That's why I just waited till now to show you that. The pouches and everything on his pants, the molded detail and everything, the extra belt that comes around, that is like a soft rubbery plastic. I think they did a good job on that. I think the hands overall, the battle damage looks great. The belt looks awesome. The pants, the molded detail for them look great. The execution for the build the figure itself for the legs, that was a little lacking, but unfortunately for me, I got lucky, so I don't really have that issue. The battle damage down here and also right here, I think they're pretty good. And yes, these do work for the figure. There is a peg hole for that, and then obviously the boot tread is a nice little touch. So overall, this figure is awesome. I think the articulation is lacking a little bit, but considering this is Mcfarlane Toys, you know, second Build-A-Figure, or collect the build figure. But overall, I mean, it's not terrible. I like it. It's just going to go on my shelf. I don't see like a 5-year-old putting this together, or 10-year-old, I should say 10-year-old, putting this together and trying to play with it, because then it's going to fall apart, and that's just going to be disappointing. But for a collector standpoint, if you can get it together and just sits on your shelf, what's the problem with the QC issue? Nothing. So that's it for the review. I really like this figure. A lot of positive things. Only negative things would be, that I had in particular, would be the wrists. I had to use the hot water for that. Legs didn't. So that's it. Thank you.